Peace. It's your girl T Speaks, and I'm doing my 6-month update on my move to Dallas, Texas. As you can tell, this is how it's going. I have decided, this is my little bunny, Juniper. I've decided to get on. I've actually never done a tour before. I probably should do one. This is the bathroom that has a Jack and Jill type of door. This is the master bedroom. I got a 1-bedroom because it's just me. The closet. The bedroom has a mirror, as you can tell. And then we got the kitchen, the island, the living room, and then the patio. And that was my official tour of my apartment in Dallas, Texas. Arlington, actually. But I want to talk about why I have decided to move after 6 months of living in Texas. Oh, Jesus. Lord, give me the strength to do this without dropping a tear. Let me settle. I decided to go ahead and get on with my life again because of housing, man. Just go ahead and spill it. Housing is starting to get out of control. I don't know if it's starting. I think starting is an understatement. Housing is out of control. It was out of control in California. You had to work so hard just to make ends meet. The homeless population was out of control. You couldn't walk down the street without seeing a whole homeless camp. You know what I'm saying? Like full of people, like a whole zip code, a 10-city zip code, chilling on the front porch of the capital state, the state capital in Sacramento. Don't get me started on Berkeley, Oakland, San Francisco, LA. Good Lord. And so I was like, well, let me go ahead and try Texas. And even though Texas, I haven't seen too many homeless, people who are experiencing homelessness. Because, I'm not even outside like that, so I can't even really call it, accurately. I will say that during the pandemic, like a lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people lost their source of income, and, they're applying for rental and utilities assistance. I'm just trying to settle. Get away from the humming of the refrigerator. And even in Texas, it's starting, you know what I'm saying? The cost of housing is starting to rise. This apartment cost me $1,050 a month, plus utilities. There's trash service that they want you to have. There's, you got to have your pest control. That's additional. I didn't have a car. I don't have a car at the moment, so I didn't have to pay for parking. But it's like they just add on all these little extra fees that, you could apply for an apartment for $1,050 for a 1-bedroom, which is clearly, in my opinion, overpriced. Oh, it didn't take you that long to get started, huh? You just jumped right in. I sure did. Clearly overpriced. And then they want to add on all these extra fees on top of it. So my rent turned out to be about $1,108 a month. Now, I will say I took a huge drop in my income when I moved from California. I cut my income literally in half. I'd say by 60%. And so if I didn't have my little coin saved up, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I wasn't on my budget tip, my Dave Ramsey budget tip, my, you know what I'm saying, not overspending and not living above my means, I couldn't even afford this apartment if I didn't have the discipline all up in me already. And so what I'm really saying is that the housing drove me away. When I came here, my heart was full. My heart was on Dallas, Texas. I was going to set up shop, get a job, start my social work career again, reset my life, purchase a house. Like, I was locked and loaded. And then I came here, the storm hit in February. It hit, like 3 days after I touched down. And then I got attacked by a dog. I didn't even tell y'all about that. Like, this is a dog and gun state. This is a loud state. So I got attacked by a dog in my apartment complex that I was living at before this apartment complex. And just pit bulls running off the leash. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? The property management just didn't give a F about people getting attacked. My neighbor got attacked by a dog, by the same dog, as a matter of fact. And so that's when I ended up moving in June. I was like, I gotta get out of here. I can't do this. Like, my peace of mind is just I'm too sacred. I'm too sacred to be living like this. And so, and that's no shade on folks that live like that. We ain't even gonna start that. I'm saying for me and for mine and how I operate, listen, I don't have nobody to be sitting up here calling if an emergency happened. Like, I don't have people like that on lock. Like, it's me and God all day, every day, and my ancestors. So they advise me all the time to take care of yourself. So what do I do to take care of myself? I make sure I budget. I make sure I'm eating right, relatively healthy. I'm making sure I'm sitting crisscross applesauce in front of the candle, meditating every morning, journaling, making sure I get my run in, my little jog in, staying away from toxic people, staying away from toxic environments, not forcing the situation, not putting my head down and feeling like, oh, if I just put my head down, like, everything around me is going to change and it's going to be better. Like, I had to start dealing with reality. Texas put some hair on my chest. Texas put some hair on my chest. As a Cali girl, like, I'm thinking I could frolic around like a little unicorn mixed with bunny rabbit in me, right? I'm thinking I can go to this state, go to that state, do whatever I want to do. It's not like that outside of California. It's not like that. Like, you got to make sure that you stay 10 toes down, you stay connected with your higher power, and you stay low. Like, don't be out there in the streets just kicking it with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving advice for folks that want to move states. Like, don't come to another state and try to make it what you want it to be. Like, it don't work like that, especially a conservative state like Texas. So bringing it back to me, like, I came here and I'm thinking I could just, adapt, conform, change. And as soon as I realized, like, this state was not working for me, as an introvert, I'm very quiet and calm. I like calm surroundings. Texas is a loud state. Everything is big, even the noise, the guns, the dogs. I didn't know I had a fear of dogs until I got attacked. So now all of a sudden I have this big ass fear of dogs over 20 pounds that I have to, like, do subconscious work on to, like, trick myself into believing that I'm no longer afraid of big dogs, when in actuality I can't stand hood ass, big ass, pit bull barking ass dogs. And the dogs that the owners don't even freaking carry on a leash and can't even control them, and they yelling and cursing out the dog. So the dog is obviously gonna have the same energy. That was traumatizing. So what I'm really trying to say, because this video is just, I'm just blurting it out. Y'all are like my little best friend that I called in the middle of the night. It was like, girl, do you know what happened to me in Texas? Like, what happened to you in Texas, girl? Girl, all of this. Listen, my biggest fear when I came here was bugs. Me and the bugs have been best friends. They got this little big ass looking thing that's in the trees. It's called a cicada, cicada. And they shed their skin and they leave their shelling of their skin, and they're like this. The shell of the skin is just left everywhere, all in the trees, all in the walkways. And they make this weird humming noise in the summertime. And at first I was like, what is that buzzing in the tree? So I looked it up. Lo and behold, it's a cicada. And I think they only come up they live underground and they only come up every 20 minutes, every 20 years, something insane. And I love it. Me and the bugs, my biggest fear I have conquered, which was the bugs. Now I have a different fear, which is dogs and housing security. And so I've decided to pack my stuff and get on to Cleveland, Ohio. Why Cleveland? People were asking me. They even asked me that when I'm calling to like set up my utilities. Why Cleveland? And I'm just like, because the housing is cheap. I was able to afford, a nice little condo for cash. I had me a little savings set up. And so I just bought me a house for cash. And I got me a little HOA fee. And, it's fine. Like, I was just tired of paying for rent. I was tired of paying for rent. I was tired. I knew almost immediately that Texas was not going to be where I wanted to stay for long term. And so I made a plan. I, kept my head down. I made sure I took care of myself. And I didn't speak negative. Even now this video may come off negative, but I feel like I'm just telling it like it is. I can kind of let it all hang out now that I'm out the door officially. And it's time for me to go on. Cleveland, who knows about Cleveland too? But, I'm a bit of a road warrior and I'm a bit of an adventurer. And I feel a bit more grounded and stable psychologically because I'm attached to a property there now. I have real estate as opposed to just renting an apartment. And I feel more hopeful about Cleveland. Now, for those who want to move to Dallas, Texas, I always say, do your research before you come here. And if you could visit, at least 1 or 2 times, see the lay of the land, and even then that's not enough. Like, try to do it. Just try to come before you move, anywhere for that matter. Because it's one thing, it's really a crapshoot wherever you go. Even when I go to Cleveland, when I move out of the country one day, like, it's really a crapshoot. You really never know what you're getting yourself into until you get in there. It's kind of like an apartment. Like, you can come and visit it, and you can come and, see it and tour the apartment. But then when you get in, when you start unpacking your stuff, you start noticing, like, I can't really put my couch in this corner like I thought I could because the damn door is halfway off. Like, just little stuff you just start noticing. You know what I'm saying? Little stuff be popping up that you didn't even notice when you first took the tour of the apartment. And that's kind of like how moving is. It's kind of like how life is. So this isn't a dig on Texas. This is not a dig on my experience. I grew a lot. I tell you, like, I had to get, I can calm down now. I got it out of my system. I thought I was serious about myself before, but then I had to get serious about my mind. It sounds like, what? I thought you was serious already about your mind. But when you is just alone and you don't have, transportation, you don't have people around you, you don't have those things that are kind of like grabbing your attention, like, you really gotta be intentional about your mind and how you use it. And so I started diving into, my subconscious. And I started journaling. I journal every day now. I've been doing so for the past, 2 months. And I became more grateful for me. So if anything, Texas taught me that I should be grateful for me. And that's just, how life should be. You should be able to go somewhere, experience something new, get out of your comfort zone, and within reason, controlled comfort zone, within reason, and find out and discover new things about you. and grow new skill sets. One thing I will say is that my survival skills, like I said in my 4-month update, my survival skills is at an all-time high. They was at a 7 4 months ago. I would give them an 8 right now. Like on mamas. Like on mamas. Like I know how to multitask. I've always been a multitasker. That's the thing about it. I know my thoughts are jumping, but I want to get everything out, and I want to get it in a way where it's condensed and the video doesn't go so over long. The thing about when you change your environment is that you get to see the spotlight. The spotlight is shown on your weaknesses and your strengths, and you get to decide the areas that you want to improve upon. You get to decide. And I feel like that's why people be hella scary to move. They be scary because they don't know what's going to happen outside of their comfort zone. And that's the point, my dear. The point is to grow and to stretch yourself and to see and to test yourself and to see what could happen in a controlled environment. Not in some flippant, I'm just going to pack my stuff and get on the road and see where God takes me. God ain't say nothing like that. God ain't like, God be like, I didn't tell you to go over there. Like God, in my humble opinion, God enjoys and blesses the planning and the preparation and the sowing of seeds and the patience. The patience. And so when you get out of your comfort zone, you have to learn patience with yourself. That's one thing that I had to learn. It was a non-negotiable. It was a requirement on my life. I didn't have a choice. Now we really having our conversation. I didn't have a choice. I had to learn patience with myself because it was just me. And I couldn't like switch everything back around that I busted up my life in California. I couldn't just like pack all my stuff back up and move back instant, like the next day. Like I had to go through the homesickness. Like I felt stuff I never even knew existed. I was like, what is this? What is this feeling creeping up in my spirit here? Why are these tears flowing when I see my gym mates on Zoom and they don't know I'm crying? Thank God I'm on Zoom working out with them. Okay. Like, why am I getting anxious before I got to go visit California for the weekend and frolic about with friends? Like, and then when I'm there, I don't even want to look at them in the eye because I don't want to feel those fuzzy Care Bear feelings. Because I don't want them to know that I'm homesick. Like, all of that stuff is going to come out when you decide to take charge of your life and get on. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like it's like with anything that you do, but I really feel like it's when you move, you really get to see who you are. The weaknesses that I had, I had to learn how to get over myself. Man, I'm still learning every day. I had to learn that everything is not gonna happen when I want it to happen. I had to learn that because I said so doesn't mean it is so. Woo, Jesus. Did y'all hear what I said? I heard what I said. I had to learn that because I said so doesn't mean that it's so. And a conservative state like Texas will let you know real fast. Like, oh, you say you ain't moving out of this apartment when you're supposed to? Eviction notice. Not me, but I done had, I'm a social worker and I done serviced a ton of people that have... Once that eviction ban was lifted, they had that notice on the door the next minute, literally. Like, no room for negotiation. Like, people don't want to go to court. They ain't playing with you. Get your ass out of this apartment if you can't pay for it. Like, it's gutter. It will put hair on your chest. And so, and that's just how it is. The drivers... I feel like people losing their mind everywhere. Like, because California couldn't drive. I don't like California drivers. And I sure as hell don't like Texas drivers. And I don't even drive. I just know that they drive crazy. Good Lord. But I even hear the Texans say that too. They be talking to me like, in the grocery line or something, or when I catch a Lyft or Uber, they be like, these drivers are crazy, and they just be yapping at me about it. What else? I know this video was all over the place. That's because that's how it be when you be in movement mode. You be just kind of all over the place. You try to stay as organized as you can mentally. Stuff happens. Let me tell you what happened. Then I'm gonna get off this line. If you got it this far in the video, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I ordered the U-Haul truck, story time. I ordered the U-Haul truck. I went to the U-Haul place. The U-Haul place, let me just be kind as I can with my words, had a bit of a racist aura on it, right? That's why the grace of God is on me, because I'm walking into these places, I don't know, a soul in sight. I'm walking into these southern places. It's all white men, old ass white men, right? They looking at me up and down. I don't have a car to drive off in. I just got dropped off by the ride share. They looking at me. I'm saying, like, good morning. The old grumpy ass U-Haul dealer guy was like, it's just Monday. And just another Monday. Two more, I was talking to him at first. Two more white guys came out the back. I'm in trauma mode. I'm thinking about like Confederate flags. I'm thinking about KKK. I'm thinking about the history of, African Americans in the southern states. And it'd be little pockets of Texas that'll just like take you aback. You'd be like, oh, I didn't know we still had this going on, my ninja. And so I felt that, especially as an empath, I felt that aura in the place, right? I'm looking around the shop. It's all old and dusty. I'm just looking for one of the blackface caricatures so I can confirm it. I didn't see or find one, but good Lord, some of these vintage shops got them. I'll tell you that much. Listen here. I get the U-Haul truck. I drive. I come back to my apartment. The movers come. They load in the U-Haul. I blocked in like a couple cars, right? The U-Haul truck stopped running. The battery goes, or something in the battery happens. The dashboard light don't even come on. So I call the U-Haul people, and they have to, put in a work order. Now, it took them 3 hours to get here. When I say my survival skills of remaining unemotionally attached had to come into the forefront, I mean that. Because while I was working for the last 3 hours of my shift, the U-Haul truck is in the back of my mind, just parked in front blocking people. So I left a note on the cars just in case. I left my phone number just in case. Thank God it didn't happen. 3 hours later, they came. And the moral of the story is it be stuff like that pops up when you're moving and just going through life, where you kind of gotta remind yourself, like, this is out of my control. The only thing I can control is this. That's the moral of the story. That's the moral of Texas. Y'all like how I wrapped that up in a big bow? I sure did, in a Tiffany's box, okay? It is the moral of Texas for me. I don't know what the moral of your story will be if you decide to move to Texas, but just be on alert. You will be tested. You will be tried. The weather will put you on your ass. The bugs will shock you. The dogs will bark at you. The guns will blast. The people will be abrasive. People were actually nice to me because I was nice to them. But I've seen people be abrasive to other people who were equally abrasive to them. Maybe that's just everywhere. And you got to take care of yourself, man. Wherever you go, you got to take care of yourself, because ain't nobody going to take care of you. And and things are going to happen. Things are going to come up that are unexpected. And you got to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, how to control your mind so that you don't freak out in the moment and pop off at the wrong person. Because, I mean, unless you know how to fight, then you can go ahead and pop off if you want to. But who wants to go to jail nowadays? Like, this video is going crazy wild. Texas is in my rearview mirror in about an hour. But it's in my heart, and I will never forget it. I will never forget the experience. I wouldn't call it a soft landing, so to speak, from California. I would not call it a soft landing. Did I have grace? Absolutely, I did. Would I do it again? Whew. I wouldn't want to, but if it got me to this level of mine, then I would unhappily do it again. And that's just my experience. Don't let my experience, thwart your decisions to move here or anywhere for that matter. Just know that be prepared financially. Housing is out of control. The weather is up and down. You will be tested by people, especially if you're from California and used to being, flip-flop wearing, tank top wearing, like, not here, boo-boo. And try it out. And if you don't like it, just move again. That's what I'm saying. Like, I never understood people when they be like complaining about where they at. Like, I can't stand it here. Then move. Like, are you a tree? I said that to some guy a couple months ago. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, what you complaining about being here for? If you don't like it, move. It's simple. I do it all the time. So, Godspeed to you all. My heart goes out to those affected in the Ida hurricane. My Lord. I was going to drive around towards Tennessee, Nashville, up in that. I was going to hug that border of Mississippi. When I seen all that and everything happening, I was like, I'm not about to drive parallel to a hurricane. Are you out of your mind? So now I switched my route. I'm going to go through St. Louis instead. And then to Columbus, and then to Maple Heights, Cleveland, Ohio. But Godspeed to y'all. If you ain't taking care of yourself, this is my call to action on your life. Take care of yourself. Even if you don't decide to move right now, it starts with you. You have to take care of yourself. It is a non-negotiable. Your life will not begin until you start taking care of yourself. It's you and you. I got a song by Donny Hathaway that I listen to. It's called A Song for You, girl or boy. A Song for You. Listen to that song and apply the words to you. To you. I did a lot of shadow work in this mother sucker. I'm talking about looking in my eyes in the mirror, crying, processing, journaling, writing. Like, I did a lot. Texas was a spiritual transformation for me. If anything, it was a spiritual transformation for me. And so, A Song for You by Donny Hathaway, man. Listen to that and apply them words to you. And you tell me if you don't tear up. And then you can turn on the Bee Gees' Staying Alive. And Saturday Night Fever to counteract the Donny Hathaway song. That's what life is about. Y'all better go ahead and get your life. You only got one life to live now, so they say. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Invest in yourselves. Till next time. Love you guys. T Speaks.